This is That's What She Said. My name is Beth Kelling, and I'm going to talk about my family's company, Sherman Buildings, and also one of my favorite topics, leadership. Being in business with my dad, brothers, and nephews in a male-dominated industry has taught me new ways to show up and speak up. It has sharpened my voice and strengthened my purpose. There's nothing like building something real with the people that you love. In 50 years, we haven't heard of a single one of our buildings go down, because at Sherman, we don't just talk about erections. We make them last forever. Hi, Dave. Welcome to That's What She Said.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's your day going?
Pretty good.
Good. How long have you worked at Sherman?
I've been here almost 13 years. In September, it'll be 13 years.
And what's your position?
Well, I started off in the yard, and then lately I've been kind of transitioning into the office, doing some inventory and sales order and purchase orders.
Yeah, how's your desk? How's the draft? Is there a draft? Is it good spot?
It's a good spot, I think.
Not too cold, not too hot?
Not too cold. It's just right.
Good.
Yep.
Perfect. When Andy came on, he called your bundles immaculate on his episode. How do you describe your bundles, and how did you perfect them?
Well, I would say at first they were probably like his. It would be Aaron, basically, he would have to check mine off. And he said it's a lot easier if you put things on there and you stagger them in lengths. So then when he goes and checks them off, he can tell what's what instead of having things, scattered and poking out each end. So I think that's how, that's just how it became. It's just easy to check off.
Why is it so important for the trailers to be loaded so nicely?
Well, you don't want anything coming loose and falling off. And then I think it just probably looks visually appealing, to like DOT seeing it going down the road. I mean, I think they would rather see something that looks like somebody loaded it that has eyes versus a blind person.
Yeah, and I think that you do a really good job for the crew guys, so that they can take it off easily.
Yes.
And in the order that they need the material.
Correct, that too. That way they know what's what too. They can kind of look, okay, that's 18 foot on the bottom, and then everything gets shorter as you go up. They can tell what. Yeah, so it helps them out too.
Yeah, like I always say that the wood shop is like our foundation where they build the walls. And so I feel like you and Andy getting the trailers loaded so beautifully makes you guys like the slingshot. You're like slingshotting the materials over to the job site. So I think you guys should start a gang called the Slingshots.
Slingshots? Okay. Okay.
What is the most satisfying part of your job?
Oh, that's an easy one. Friday. When I leave here on Friday and I get to look out by the fence and see everything that is ready to go out on Monday. So that's one thing. The second thing is knowing that those trailers are going to be somebody's building and like their excitement, like they're coming Monday, and just think on Friday we probably could be sitting inside this shed, doing whatever they want to do in there.
Right. It's all these boards, it's these sheets of steel, and that's going to become a structure. It's so cool.
So that's satisfying. Yeah.
Nice. So we get complimented constantly for how clean and organized our yard is. What inspires you to keep it so clean?
Well, we get compliments from drivers that come in and they say, wow, there's some places I've been, it's like, where do we go? Or, there's just like you have to snake around things. And they say when they come in here, they pretty much know where to go and everything has a spot. And it's just, we try to keep it clean. Plus your dad, Andrew, he likes to have a clean yard. So I want him to be happy with a clean yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus it just makes everybody's morale better too. A dirty yard, it kind of gives you a dirty attitude,
Yeah. Totally. Okay, would you rather go out for Mexican food for lunch and be so full that the whole day drags on, or be so busy that you missed lunch, but at least it went fast?
I would rather be so busy to miss lunch.
Yeah, it's horrible
pretty easy
being full, isn't it?
It is, because you can't move.
I'm going to Mexican food right after this, and I'm like, don't eat too much. You'll like ruin your whole day. And yeah, we've gone out to Mexican food as a group a few times, and I know that we're all just like hating ourselves.
Yeah, we get pretty sleepy afterwards.
Yeah. So music is super big for you, and my question is, what band would you love to see live that isn't touring anymore? Something that isn't touring.
Alive or dead? Dead would be Waylon Jennings. I'd love to see him, but he's dead.
Yeah.
Alive, that's a hard one. There's so many of them. But I think I would rather go see like Sturgill Simpson, because not only does he do like some of his own music, but he also does like covers of like really good songs too. So
I like covers a lot.
I do too. Yep.
Cool. So I want to give you a round of applause for being smoke-free for years now.
Oh, yeah.
How many years has it been?
Over 2.
That's so amazing. Do you have a piece of advice for anybody wanting to quit smoking?
Just do it. It kind of sucks at first, but eventually it just goes away. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's still times where I wouldn't mind having one, but the cravings are they're gone. You know, just like that. It's not like a lingering thing anymore.
So you're like, don't overthink it. Just
Don't overthink it. Just don't even go buy them. You know, like that was a habit of mine. Like every morning was a pack of cigarettes and coffee. So once I deleted that, I don't even buy coffee anymore. I just make my own.
You had to change other routines.
I had to change other routines too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What is something that you're proud of that nobody else sees?
Well, I'm a proud father of 2. I have a family. I have my own place. You know, that's kind of some things that I don't really brag about, I guess, or mention a lot. But those are some things that I'm actually proud of, especially coming, you know, where I come from. So, yeah, you know, you strive to do better than what your parents gave you, you know. So, and I think I'm doing better than what they gave me. Not that anything was bad, but yeah.
Good. Well, I
Yeah.
hope that you feel that pride for yourself instead of a lot of us just push things away and forget to realize what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got a camper this year, so I feel like you're just living your best life every weekend.
Yep. Happy camper.
Yeah.
That's where that term comes from.
Yeah. Where's your next destination?
Probably. Well, it's going to be home this weekend, but next weekend we'll be at that Ogoldstock
At that party?
festival, so
Big
it'll
music.
probably bring it over to Aaron's for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way I can just sleep in that instead of going home.
Awesome. What Sherman awards have you won at Christmas?
I've gotten one.
Only one?
Yep, and I just looked, and it's Lumber Lord, the ruler of the yard with an iron fist. That's
Why
what I
have you
got.
only gotten one?
I don't know.
You've had to have gotten others. You just forgot.
I just
them.
looked. I might have forgot,
That's
but I
the
was
one that
looking
you
last
have.
night, and that's the only one I could find. So, yep.
Who is most likely here when we have a lunch planned, you know, and we've been talking about it all week, like we're doing lunch this week, we're having a party. Who's most likely to forget and still bring their own lunch that day?
You know, Andy has, and has a couple times,
But that
which
would be
I'm
fine.
shocked. You know,
Because he eats so much. His Sherman Award was like eating the most because I remember one time I got Chinese for everybody, like just got like 10 different things from the Malacca Chinese place.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And we like all did our own little buffet. And I was waiting to eat last because I was scared I didn't get enough. And yeah, Andy was complaining that he didn't get enough, or I don't know. Like a couple
Probably.
times food has ran out, and he's been like, "Oh, well, I only got 3 pieces of pizza." And it's like,
well, that's probably
sorry,
just
we never
plenty.
have enough food for you, Andy. Okay, is there a mistake that you've made that you've learned from?
Here? Okay, yeah, here I can, probably my second day here, I made a big mistake. There's a reason why there's an entry door on the other side of one of our sheds here. I tried to squeeze through there between the shed and Aaron.
Yeah.
And I ended up putting a hole right in the wall, and they just rescun that building too, like earlier that year.
And that was your second
That was my
day?
second day here on the job, and I ripped it open.
Were you good at like letting it go pretty quickly, or did you like hold on
I
to
was
that
like
for a
waiting
while?
for someone to yell at me, you know, because Derek was out in the yard with a customer, and he just looked over at me. And then he just went back to helping that customer. But then later on, I went up there, and I'm like, you saw what I did, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, you're not going to yell at me, call me a name or anything? And he's like, no, just don't do it again, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Another round of applause for Derek. He got one in the last one with Aaron, too.
Yeah, he's like an old wise man, but he's not old.
Yeah, yeah. Devin was teaching me how to use a forklift on one of my first month or two, too. Do you remember that? And I ran into the wall.
Yeah, right over here. And then, on the new edition.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, for a little bit, I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing anybody's ever done. And then all of you were very nice to me and said,
We can replace it.
yeah, this happens.
Easy.
This happens, not just you.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, anything else you want to share today?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for coming on. Thank you so much for listening in on That's What She Said. If you are as passionate about leadership as I am, I would love to hear from you. Please go to my website at that'swhatsheshed.live to share feedback, ideas, and start the conversation of coming on the show.